on YouTube, back in the garage again. In this video we're going to be doing some more work on the Suzuki Bandit. Hopefully soon I'll have this thing all finished up. I can do a test ride and put it up for sale. I did get some more parts in. I got 2 new horns, which I hopefully will be installing today. I got the brake switch for the rear brake. Definitely going to be putting that in today. And I also got the new covers for the rear brake master fluid reservoir, and I think it's actually this one right here. Then I got the 2 for the front brake and the clutch fluid reservoirs. So I want to put those on today too. Put those on also today. But my main goal today is to get this wiring all figured out. I think the wiring that, coming from that COSO gauge is completely wrong. So I'm going to take the harness that's coming from the gauge to the plug that plugs into the bike, and I'm just going to redo it. Some of them are correct, but I have a feeling a bunch of them are just backwards and mixed up. So I'm going to just weed through it and just cross my fingers. By the time I get done with it, it works 100%. So yeah, let's see if it works. I think the first thing I'm going to tackle is I'm going to put this rear brake switch in. But in order to do that, when I took this apart, the one bolt for the foot peg assembly, it actually ripped the threads right off the bolt. So basically, it's on the bottom one. I have to trace the threads in the frame so I can get another one in. I do have another one. When I bought this bike, one of the first things I did was I bought an assortment of nuts and bolt bag that you can get off of eBay, just in case I was missing something. And lo and behold, I ended up using a bunch of them, and one of the bolts I needed was in there, so it worked out. So I'm going to tap that, and hopefully I'm actually going to trace all 3. I'm going to retrace the one really good that ripped all the threads right off the bolt, and hopefully everything works out. So it turned out, it looks like it is M10 by 1.0 tap. That's what it looks like. So hopefully I'm right. So I'm going to tap that and hopefully put all this back together. Come back once I get that all straightened out. I retraced the threads on the first top 2. Came out perfect. Now I am tracing the threads on the bottom one, and it is going perfect. It's nice and smooth now. There was remnants of the old bolt. Basically I had to pull that out of threads with the tap and retrace the threads so I can get another bolt in it. So it's turning out good. Whenever you're doing this, just make sure you have it plenty lubed, and use air to blow out the hole to get any crud out of it. So oh yeah, there was definitely some junk in there. So just gotta blow these holes out real good, then I can start reassembling this foot peg. Alrighty, so I got the foot peg back on, reassembled, hooked up to the master, and I got the new switch put in. I even have it dialed in, so right when I even touch the brake, it will come on now. So that's all straightened out. Next thing, I'm going to do another easy thing. I'm going to put the new caps on the reservoirs so I can get that out of the way. Then I'll tackle the wiring. Taking a little bit by a little bit. I'm easing myself into it. Easing it so I don't get pissed off. So yeah, I'm going to do those reservoir caps. Hopefully they work the correct ones and everything works out with that. And yeah, I can start tackling that wiring. This is the old reservoir cap, and this is the new one that I got. I'm not sure which direction it goes yet, but obviously this one is
missing a chunk out of it. That one's good, but I'm still replacing it. I got one for both sides. I just have to figure out what orientation I'm going to want it, because this side has like little lines in it and the other side's smooth. I'm obviously going to want them facing the same direction or corresponding directions so it looks pleasant. So it also came with new screws. I'm going to pop this one off first, then I'll do that one, then I'll do the rear brake one, and I'll come back once I get these on. Alrighty guys, I got the new covers back on. They fit pretty good. I like them. The only thing, they're not reverse pattern, so I wasn't able to get the pattern to face the same direction on both sides, but it is what it is. It's better than what the bike had on it, in my opinion, so I can live with it. My next step is going to be tackling that wire harness for the Koso gauge. Hopefully I can straighten that out and get it to work correctly. Alright, so I got the harness out. This is whoever owned this before me, how they spliced it all in, all the colors. This side is the old gauge harness. These wires for some reason weren't being used. This plug right here goes to the speed magnet sensor for the magnet on this wheel, and then it goes to the actual cluster itself. So what I'm going to do is go through each wire one by one here. That's basically coming off this end, and I'm going to hopefully connect it to the correct one based off of what I've read online. I'm going to just go right down the line and hopefully straighten it all out. I'm not going to solder everything right at once, all at once. I'm just going to hopefully make the repair, twist them together and test it. Then if it works, I'll start soldering and putting it all back together. What I'm seeing in this book, and according to what I'm seeing online, isn't matching to what I am seeing here. I wish this was color coded. It would make things easier, because it is to my year US model, and I'm not even sure if this is even for my year, or even if this is US model or UK or what. So I gotta hunt down some more wiring diagrams, I guess, that's color coded to be able to figure this out. I tried hooking it up according to the directions that I saw online, but it didn't work. So yeah, this is gonna turn into a shit show. So I gotta do some more research, but for the time being, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to paint this front fender, take a break from the wiring and paint this front fender, get that out of the way. Then maybe tomorrow I can install that, and I'll be one step closer to getting this bike completed. Got the first coat, well, second coat really, black paint on the fender here. I'm just spray bombing it. It's turning out alright. I had to do some more wet sanding before I painted it. It has little imperfections, but it's good, gonna be good enough. So, looking alright. I'm just gonna let this dry a little bit, then I'm gonna hit it with some more. Alrighty guys, I got this front fairing all painted. It turned out okay. I'm gonna have to do some wet sanding with like 2000, maybe 1500, 2000 grit. Let's see if I can't make it look a little bit better. If not, I'll just wet sand it again with 400 and spray paint it again. When it came down to the wiring, I'm having still issues. So basically, I originally had, when I put the original cluster on, the neutral light will work. Now it's not working. I don't understand why. I hope I didn't short something out. But then it comes down to the harness. This harness, for some reason, I try to put it back the way that it was. I can't get it to work correctly, or something's going funny with it. And not only that, I was trying to start the bike, now she doesn't want to start. In turn, found out that I was being stupid, and according to this petcock here, this should be the on position. It's not. It's the off position. So I had it all the way up, I guess, over the week, and it must have flooded it out. So when I went to go start it, it fouled out the plugs, and in turn pulled out a plug, and guess out what kind of plug it was? A auto light. I don't know why anybody would put an auto light plug in a Japanese motor. But anyway, I gotta change that. I gotta find the NGK the NGK plug that is supposed to be for this. I gotta change that out for it. I think it's a JK9B or something like that. So I gotta find 4 of those, put those in, and still figure out this damn wiring. This wiring is a ball buster, but I'll get it eventually. But so yeah, I still can't believe the auto lights are in this thing. I guess I should have checked that before I put the whole thing back together. But whatever, I'll change them out. It's not that big of a deal. So I got the battery on a battery tender because I basically killed the battery trying to start the damn thing, all pissed off. So I have to charge the battery again. And the neutral light, I basically have the battery disconnected. Hopefully it resets everything, but hopefully tomorrow when I come back and I hook it back up, the neutral light hopefully should work if I resetted everything, in theory. So we'll see. I'm not sure if that's how it all works, but we'll see what happens. So it's the following day. I went and bought the correct spark plugs. I'm going to install those today. Take out those horrible auto lights. I don't know why someone would put auto lights in a foreign motor. Auto lights are for Fords, if I'm not mistaken. But put those auto lights in. Hopefully she fires up. I've only pulled one plug and it was completely fouled out. So hopefully these auto lights will remedy that. Or not auto lights, NGK spark plugs. I also, yesterday, I painted the front fender. I'm going to try wet sanding this. Just the front part. This back part I'm probably just going to leave alone. Just the front part here I'm going to wet sand it and probably buff it. If it doesn't turn out, I'm just going to have to repaint it. But it does have some sags I'm going to have to get out. And there was a solvent pop right there. And it has a little remnants of a little bit of dirt, but nothing I can't sand out. But overall it turned out real nice. So yeah, I'm gonna wet sand that, and then I'm gonna probably put the spark plugs in after that. Alrighty guys, so I wet sanded and very, very lightly buffed this. As you can see, it's turning out really good, especially for spray paint. The problem I'm having is the paint is still a little tender, so I'm going to have to wait. I'll probably give it like a week before I continue, but overall it's looking pretty good. There's a little sag there I gotta sand out along with the front here, but overall it's looking pretty goddamn nice, especially for spray paint. You can see a little fogging right there, but that's, it needs more buffing. So, and I was basically holding it down with my hand and using a buffer. Ooh. It's not the ideal thing. I want to let it completely harden and probably mount it to the bike and do the final buffing to it, because I don't have a real small disc buffer. It's probably something I should acquire, but looks like I'm not going to have to repaint it. I'm just gonna have to let it sit and harden completely, so I can do the final buffing to it. So alrighty, I got the spark plugs out. These suckers weren't even tight, they were just snugged in there by hand. So I'm sure even if I would have tightened these all the way, it would have ran better. But anyway, these are not the correct spark plugs for this bike. Auto lights are for, I believe, Ford products and snowblowers. So might be Champions for snowblowers, but never put auto lights in your Suzuki. So right now I got the tank back on, new plugs in. I'm betting it's going to fire right up now. Based off of that crap that I saw over there, shit plugs. And don't get me wrong, I left the gas on and for a week, and it probably fouled them out that way. So that would be my bad, but still, those plugs were completely wrong. Brand new plugs. Let's see if she fires up. Okay, still don't have a neutral light for some reason. Don't know why. That's even after I had the battery disconnected and the power on. When disconnected, just reset everything. For some reason, I still don't have a neutral light, so I'm gonna have to fuck with that too. That's based off the stock cluster. Before I was getting a neutral light with the stock cluster, and it is in neutral right now. So on, yeah. Let's see here. Fired right over. Put the gas on. Alright, you guys, pulled it out so I can do an actual walk around and just stop raining. I don't know how long for, but overall turned out pretty damn nice. I'm gonna have to wipe this thing down after I pull it back in. It has its imperfections, you know, some scratches there, scratches on the tank, little dings, but overall it's a sound bike. It still does, like I said, need a little bit more work with the carb, needs to be synced a little bit better. And I was not able to figure out the neutral light, why it just remains on even though it's not in gear. Yeah, I wish I could just keep this bike. It is what it is. I gotta make some money, so can't do this for nothing. Hence why I decided not to paint the tank and tail section. I need to get this thing up for sale, so I could just keep on going with this thing and do some real sick shit, but nah, I decided not to. I did put the horns on, mounted them right there. Worked good. What else did I do? Yeah, I did a lot to this bike, but if you're interested in seeing exactly what all I've done to this bike, check out the my build series on this bike. I got another bike that I'm going to start shortly. I might even start filming a little bit of it today, doing an intro of it. But yeah, so this one's up for sale. Might be sold by the time you guys see this. So overall, bike turned out nice. So I like it. Sounds amazing. It has plenty of power.
Alright, you guys, that's gonna wrap it up for Suzuki build. I took it as far as I want to take it. It's time to let it go. Hopefully the next owner can take it even farther to the next level. Yes, it still does need some attention, but doesn't seem good to make money that way if I keep on like slamming my head against the wall trying to figure out the little odds and ends when I'm not even gonna keep it, you know. So granted, yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to paint the tank. I would love to paint the tail section, but it doesn't make sense when you're trying to make money. So and even the carbs, I would like to take them back apart and sync them a little bit better. But especially after finding those auto lights in there, like they weren't even tight. They were literally hand tight. So I was syncing carbs with hand tight spark plugs, they were probably had compression going by them, so I wasn't getting a good sync. That's why it's running the way it is. Don't get me wrong, it runs great, a ton of power, but it still needs to be dialed in a little bit better. So, but anyway, I'm going to go on to the next build. So if you find this interesting and you want to see the next build, please like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. All right, till next time, take it easy.